Errol Spence says no to a Manny Pacquiao fight, compares him to Ali, Holmes. Fear or respect? What's good, y'all? It's your boy Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. So, the three-time welterweight champion, Errol the Truth Spence Jr. has said no to a potential fight with Manny Pacquiao after his return to the ring to take on DK Yoo. I don't know how many people actually watched the DK Yoo exhibition fight, but it was kind of like, this is the problem I have with those exhibition fights. It's more like a joke. You know, I wish if these guys, you know, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, other people, if they're gonna do exhibitions, I wish they would do them against like credible sparring partners, like guys that have been sparring for years and years. Now I know you're trying to take advantage of people's popularity, you know, fighting guys with big Facebook fan bases and Instagram fan bases and stuff like that. But I don't see the point in doing that, because the DK Yoo exhibition was kind of like a failure, especially the fact that they did it over there in Japan or China. So they were overseas somewhere. I forgot where exactly they were at. But the crowd didn't show up. So, you know, you would think that you're in somebody's hometown, you know, they're a huge Instagram star in whatever country they're in. You would think that the crowd would show up, but the crowd didn't show up because nobody took it seriously. And if you watch the fight, DK Yoo didn't take it seriously. You know, this is the reason I say I wish he would do it against like credible, at least sparring partners, like guys that have been sparring for 10 or 15 years, you know, guys that have been in the background for 10 or 15 years that actually do this, you know, on a daily basis, that they probably sparred some of the greatest stars in the world. They just never became a star themselves. I think those guys would take it more seriously, and it'll be a lot more entertaining than watching, you know, somebody who's really, really overmatched. So that's the problem I have with the exhibition part of it. Listen, Errol Spence says that he compares Manny Pacquiao to Ali Holmes. You know, he feels like Pacquiao's a good guy. You know, he doesn't want to embarrass Manny Pacquiao. And I kind of have to laugh and chuckle at that, because you are all too willing to fight Pacquiao a year ago. I don't understand this. You are all too willing to fight Pacquiao a year ago when it benefited you popularity-wise. But now that he lost to Ugas, after he was basically tricked into fighting Ugas, because there was no way Pacquiao was going to train for 4 months, spend all that money on his trainers and all that stuff, spend all that money coming over here, and then just fly back without anything. Go back to the Philippines, run for president, and you gain nothing. You just lost a bunch of money and a bunch of time for no reason. So, you know, he accepted the Ugas fight on 10 days notice, but I think in hindsight he wishes he didn't, because in hindsight he didn't want to, and it was said by his management that he didn't want to accept that fight. He just took it because of time constraints and the fact that he was trying to get back to the Philippines to run for the presidency. So Errol Spence took the fight when it would have benefited him, you know, when he would have gained some popularity off of beating Pacquiao. If that was Errol Spence, man, the whole boxing scene, I think, would be different right now. And I think we would have already gotten the Terrence Crawford fight, because Errol Spence would have been such a big star by then. Ugas really gained nothing off of beating Pacquiao except for that title. And then he turned around and got beat by Errol Spence. You know, and I had explained all of that in a video about a year ago, before Pacquiao was supposed to fight Errol Spence, when they announced that the fight was canceled. I had kind of explained how I felt like it was going to play out. And I'd be DAM'd if it didn't play out exactly the way I thought it would. You know, I think boxing is extremely predictable because boxing is extremely corrupt. You know, it's sad to say that, but because you want to feel like, this, you know, everybody's got a chance in sports. You know, it's all about your athletic ability. But it's really not at the end of the day. It's really not, man. It has nothing to do with that. And it's really starting to show. You know, my hope is that hopefully we get Spence versus Crawford, and as fans we don't get screwed out of that fight. But I think it's sad when a guy like Errol Spence, who, I like Errol Spence. I think he is the best of this generation. But when you're unwilling to challenge yourself, to me, it makes you look bad. To me. Now, I know to hardcore Errol Spence fans, that in their brain, they're saying that he would kill Pacquiao. And, people that hate Pacquiao are saying he would kill Pacquiao. But at the end of the day, I doubt that. Is it fear or is it respect? Because if you respected him, you would at least give him a chance. You would at least give him a chance, and you would take it as he wants to pass you the torch. Like these guys nowadays, they want to be elevated into the highest level of history in the sport of boxing, but they don't want to actually fight people to get there. They don't want to actually take the hardest, toughest fights to get there. It's almost like they want to talk you into believing that they are what they say they are. I.e. Terrence Crawford. Look at Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford will talk you into believing he's exactly what he says he is. And to a lesser extent, Errol Spence too, because the only problem I have with Errol Spence is the fact that he keeps ducking Pacquiao. And honestly, 100%, I do not blame him. If you watch what Pacquiao was able to accomplish versus Keith Thurman, I would say no to a Pacquiao fight too, because there are too many ifs. There are too many ifs. And what if he beat you? Then you're the guy who got beat up by the old guy, and you're going to be all depressed and taking 3 years out of your career like Keith Thurman did. Errol Spence got a gift, and people don't want to believe that, but Errol Spence got a gift. The first time Pacquiao's name came up, and he's got an out this time. He got a gift out of the eye injury, whether it was real, fake, or if it was pulled out specifically for that situation. If Errol Spence was supposed to fight Ugas, and Ugas was already, the champion. If Manny Pacquiao, wasn't the guy that they decided to fight at that moment, but it was Ugas, would Errol Spence have pulled out of that fight for the eye injury? I'm just going to laugh at that one. If that was Terrence Crawford and not Manny Pacquiao, would Errol Spence have pulled out of that for the eye injury? I doubt it. And it's crazy that he would compare Manny Pacquiao to Holmes Ali. The difference between Pacquiao and Ali at those points in their career is Ali had gotten beaten up a bunch of times before he had stepped in there with Larry Holmes. Ali was already damaged. Manny Pacquiao taking one loss. He was cheated by Jeff Horn. He fought Jesse Vargas. He beat Jesse Vargas. He fought Lucas Matisse. He beat Lucas Matisse. He fought Adrian Broner. He fought Keith Thurman. He beat Keith Thurman and won another title. He was on a 4-fight winning streak when he met Yordenis Ugas. Out of 5 fights, he only lost 1. And he barely lost the Ugas fight. Even though everybody wanted to keep saying he got destroyed, he barely lost the Ugas fight. So I don't see Errol Spence's comparison to Ali Holmes even being anywhere near true. I think, once again, it's an easy out for Errol Spence because he needs an excuse to get out of that situation. It is what it is, man. I know people are not going to believe that. I know people are not going to believe that there could be any fear of Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence. But an unknown is an unknown, and nobody wants to be that guy who gets beat up by the old guy that everybody thinks is washed up, because nobody wants to be Keith Thurman. It is what it is. Look at Keith Thurman's career now after what happened with Pacquiao. Look at Adrian Broner's career. Lucas Matisse retired. Haven't heard from Jesse Vargas. It is what it is, man. At this point, it just is what it is. And I think Errol Spence is wrong about the Ali-Holmes comparison. I don't think he actually did his research about that situation and how damaged Ali already was at that point. I think it was just a funny comparison that he pulled out that he wanted to get fans to laugh about. And just to ish on Manny Pacquiao some more so people never bring it back up and he doesn't have to look like he fears Manny Pacquiao, but he can make it seem like he respects Manny Pacquiao. Let me know what y'all think about that down in the comment section below. The like button for me, share, subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. And we are
Keys to the City, Volume 1. Check. Hey yo, I been all over the map and I'm back with my new shit. That ruthless nigga Lewis. Ask around, they tell you who the coolest. School with a knack of finding where the loot is. Truth is, they see me and they ask me, how you from the Ville? Niggas know you in Pulaski. How you from Kentucky? Your CD in California. Nat Town in Georgia, back down to Florida. Track sounding gorgeous till it's rigor mortis. Bet you see me on the run like I'm Clinton Portis, doing what I gotta do to come up on the fortune. Looking shorty courting, but she won't get a portion. I'm more than anything you ever seen. Niggas ain't got a duck, but they better lean. Nowadays I'm the same, but it's better green. Flow amphetamine, keep a scam and a scheme. It's blackout and spotless. You can't hate when you see what I've accomplished. On the road, moving CDs out the boxes. Going with my niggas, switch your sweets by the boxes. I'm throwing rhyme bombs, call them Brian Brown. My team step in, setting off the fire alarm. It's high temperature, KY pimping in your face. I'm running game and I'm dipping with your mate. Zooming down the interstate, on my way to Tennessee. We got a nigga late. I got a few ones, no conscience. I'm supposed to be low, but still the money's important. And my peoples wanna see me prevail. Out the trunk with it, trying to make a CD sale. At the same time, the devil wanna see me in hell. It's a 50-50 chance just to see if I fail or not. Cause all them things cracking just to distract me and keep that bill on the map, shit from happening. I got my focus on high beam. It's the KY King, sorry if I seem out of place, I ain't used to this. I'm used to chillin' in the hood with a deuce and a bitch. I either out of town doing what I do for the chips. Now, who you know is cooler than this? Nobody, nigga. I do it gigantic, keep my ass slanted. Thinking to myself, nigga, this is my planet. Why panic? I'm calm and cool. Nowadays, damn bitches wanna rendezvous. You don't want no drama, and it'll be that way to the day I'm as old as the Pope's mama. 48 bars straight, nigga, no commas, no pauses, no flaws. It's keys. Niggas acting like it's no laws in the V. I-double-L-E, gotta feel me. And here's what I bring for you. Keys to the city, 502.